guys, Becky here with Design Bundles, and I'm super excited to have you join me today because we are starting our installment for all the specialty blades available to use with your Cricut Maker. Now, of course, this is our overview. This is where you want to start. So if you're ready to learn, you have come to the right place. All right, guys, so these are the specialty tools that can be used with your Cricut Maker. As you can see, there's actually a pretty wide variety of them. Now, the one that you received with your cutting machine is the Rotary Blade. Okay, that should come with all of the Cricut Makers, or at least it came with mine. Hopefully it came with yours. And this was my first experience with using the wheel with the gear inserts on it. So that was new to me, but they have since come out with all of these other ones that use the drive housing, which I guess is the official name for that. Anyway, so to get back on track, we have all of these different tools, and then I also splurged and bought a little organizer. So as we open them, we will be able to put them in our organizer and keep them nice and organized. Okay, so the organizer opens up to be able to hold your blades on the bottom. Just has a little twisting lock system, and then of course it can also hold blades on the top. So what that means is that these little pieces, your QuickSwap pieces, those will be able to be stored in the bottom while the actual blades and housings will be held in the plastic cutouts up here on the top. So hopefully that makes sense. So we will just leave this off to the side and just know that that's where I'm going to set the blades as we start going through them. So we talked about the Rotary Blade already. Now, of course, guys, I'm just giving you an overview today. We will go in depth on each one of these blades for you. Now, if you notice, it does not fit inside the holder with its casing on. So that part will be up to you if you want to remove the casing. I feel like if I remove the casing that I might lose it. So I may decide to put this somewhere else because I really like having that casing on the Rotary Blade. So let's go ahead and isolate the ones that have the QuickSwap housing. Okay, so these are the groups that you have. You have the knife blade, which does not have a QuickSwap housing. You have the scoring wheel, which does have a swappable housing to be able to use with this other piece here. And then the engraving tip says specifically it's the QuickSwap housing, and it will fit each of these. So one thing that we will play with will determine if the scoring wheel combo is interchangeable with these pieces here. But of course we won't know till we open them, so let's go ahead and take care of that. Okay guys, so I'm only slightly embarrassed at how long it took me to get those out of the blister packaging. The struggle was real for sure. So I don't know if that was just me needing an adult to come and open my new toys, or if it really takes everybody that much effort, but just know that that is a thing. Now the knife tool does also have the little protective housing that goes on it. So it'll be up to you if you want to keep that, because it will also keep you from being able to use your little storage tool here. So completely up to you, but it is there. There we go. I imagine it's probably a good idea to keep it on at least for the time being, because I could easily see myself cutting a finger on the knife blade. So we're just going to start. So we know that the knife blade is its own housing. These two are their own housing. Okay. And then we know that these came packaged together. Now the QuickSwap housing has a little depressor button on the top that you can press to remove the tool. Okay, so this is the scoring wheels. This is the one, and is it the 1 and 2? Yes, the 1 and the 2, and they are labeled. Okay, so this is going to be 2 of these. Now let's just see. Let's see how this works. Will it accept this tool? And yes, it does. So I do believe that all of these are going to be labeled with your QuickSwap housing. Perhaps this edition just came out before they formulated the name of QuickSwap housing. All right, so let's go ahead and go over the overview of what each of these tools is going to be for, because like I said, we are going to do an in-depth tutorial for each individual blade type. But we talked about the Rotary Blade. Your Rotary Blade is going to be for any type of delicate material or fabric. So if you're working with something like vellum, or when I talk about fabric, I mean unbonded fabric, meaning just regular fabric that you can put on your cutting mat. And the rotary blade is going to cut through it similar to a rotary blade that you use for sewing to cut your fabric down. So if you are familiar with sewing and using fabric, then this should be pretty common for you. But just in case, feel free to experiment with us when we get to that portion. Then we have our knife blade. The knife blade is going to be for thicker materials. It's used for balsa wood and craft foam and some types of leather or faux leather. Anything that needs a thicker blade to be able to cut all the way through, that is going to be your knife blade. So then we have over here, we'll start from left to right. These are your scoring wheels. Now scoring wheels are going to be, for example, when you need to score cardstock. And the scoring wheel also has some really neat features that you can use as far as decorative touches. So it's not just for folding lines and working with paper, and we will look at it more in depth, but the scoring wheel is very, very useful. And we are going to put one tip down in the bottom, and then we will go ahead and put the housing up here in the top. And then of course we have our engraving tip. Okay, the engraving tip is going to be a sharp but sturdy piece. It is meant for engraving in a lot of different materials. One in particular that we are going to use it for will be etching in acrylic. All right, so very, very useful. It is sharp without being blade sharp, so you still need to be careful with it. It does come with the QuickSwap housing, so that is another feature. Both of these come with the little protectors. So what we're going to do, we'll borrow the QuickSwap housing from one of these, and you're going to insert it, lock it into place, and then pull it out. So this is your Wavy Blade. I don't know how well you can see the waviness. Okay, but basically this is going to work very similar to your rotary blade, except the blade itself is wavy. So any lines that it cut will be wavy also. So there are a lot of neat features that we can use this for. Again, like I said, we will look at it with the tutorial. This is going to be your perforated line. So anytime you need a dashed line. In particular, one that I can think of was that I made these really cute birthday invitations that worked similar to a ticket because it was sports themed. So perforated line is really great, not just for a scoring tool, because there are some instances where you can use the perforated line instead of the scoring line. But anytime that you need to be able to tear something away, that makes a really fun project to have. This last one that we have here, this is going to be your debossing tip. So it actually feels just like a little tiny nub that sticks out. It's not sharp at all. And this is going to be for, we're going to say debossing, but it's often referred to as embossing with your machine. And we will take a look at the different ways that you can use that. But it is really, really fun. Again, a lot of paper crafters like to use embossing. So I'm going to, for my storage, I'm going to eject all of my tips that do not need a housing piece, a protector piece like these. And I'll store those in the bottom. And then I will put this on my QuickSwap housing. And then it'll be up to me if I want to keep these little protectors or not. Now, of course, this little storage tool can be used also to store your regular blades. And it's it's really cute. I mean, let's be honest. You don't necessarily need this to keep your blades in order, but it is really, really super cute, and it's convenient to be able to store everything together. Now let's talk about using these with your machine. Your Cricut Maker has a dual housing. Okay, so what that means is that you do have one that is intended for your pins and whatnot, and then you have your blade housing, which is actually your second housing. And this is where you will remove your existing blade. And like I said, you can just drop this in here with your other ones. I'm going to put mine right in the center. Okay, but these gears, and that's what makes these your specialty blades and why they only work with the Maker, because in the top of your Maker, right up here, there are corresponding gears. So whenever you put in your specialty housing, you will want to make sure if you look at the top, you have one area of your gear that is exposed and one area that's protected by plastic. So you'll drop that bad boy in and just make sure that your gears are in line with the gears that are exposed and close it just like normal. Remember that if you have to force it, that means something's wrong. So just pay attention to the way that it feels whenever you go to put it in. And then of course the gears will turn to be able to work with your specialty blade. So guys, that is our overview of the specialty blades that are available to you to use with your Cricut Maker. It is a really fun process to go through to learn each of these blades. So hopefully you will join us for that part of the series so that we can show you what your machine is fully capable of using these awesome specialty blades. So guys, how did you feel about our brief overview of your Cricut Maker specialty blades? Now I know it was quick and simple, but guys, I wanted to give you a brief overview, that way you know what we have coming right around the corner. These blades are really awesome. They have some really awesome projects associated with them. So don't worry that we have cut it short, because we have full tutorials for you and we're going to show you just what these blades are capable of. Now, of course, to make sure that you get all the newest information on the channel, make sure you give us that subscribe, make sure you hit the notifications, and you will receive all the updates for when we post new videos. That way you can come and check them out and you can follow up on our upcoming series for each one of these blades. Of course, in the meantime, if you have questions or comments, please make sure you leave those below. If there are certain things that you want to see with the blade, I will work those into the video for you if I can. And you know, I just always love to hear from you guys. I always want to bring you things that you want to see and things that will help you on your crafting journey. So I'm going to wrap it up for today, but guys, I do appreciate it. I appreciate you supporting the channel. I will see you guys again next time.